So I've recently been in the market for a third-party controller because my other third-party controller from PowerA somehow broke.
Fuck.
So I was in the market for a new controller, obviously, and I wanted one with mechanical buttons because I was tired of the rubber contact pads on the controllers. So looking on Amazon, you can buy anything on Amazon. You can buy a truck on Amazon if you really wanted to. I really could only find this one option from a company called Sunwaytek. They have this mechanical switch controller called the H510 or the H510, which uses mechanical key switches for the ABXY buttons, which is what I was looking for. The controller is $35.99. It is a Switch Pro Controller replacement. It works on iOS and Android along with PC, which is pretty interesting. And it doesn't really it's more actually, I think it's more on the expensive side of third-party controllers, to be honest. It uses linear mechanical switches. I believe they are Omniron. I may not be right on that. It has an arcade stick style D-pad, and it has a magnetic sensor triggers for the analog trigger. It has rumble as well, and it also has motion control, but apparently, according to the user manual, it only works on the Switch, but I am going to try to get it to work on PC, but you have to use Bluetooth to get it to work into Switch Pro Controller mode, and if you connect by USB, it's in Xbox 360 mode. You can also connect it into a gamepad mode by Bluetooth if you hold the home button and X, or Switch mode by the home button and B. Here's the unboxing of the controller. It's just a brown box. I recorded this with my phone at the same time, alright? So it's not gonna be that good, so here it is in the box. It's got some like white foam around it, it's cool, it's whatever. Here it is, right here. It's a little smaller than I thought, actually. I thought it was gonna be a little bit bigger. I guess, things are deceiving when you look at them in pictures. Here's the user manual. I actually looked at this online before I bought it, and here is a side-by-side between my other third-party controller from the beginning, which I kind of threw at the ground. Oh, it dropped. So I'm holding the controller in my hands right now, and what you're watching is me playing the game with the D-pad and the mechanical switches. It's really not that bad. It feels a little small, but after a while it just kind of like melts into your hands. You don't really notice it. One thing you do notice though is the triggers. When I was looking at the reviews, I did see one complaint about the triggers. They wiggle a lot, and oh boy howdy do they wiggle a lot. There's a lot of room for them to move. This could be probably fixed, but just by like shrinking the area around them a little bit. They give you they give too much space around the triggers themselves to move. And you know how it said magnetic sensor, so you don't really feel that like feedback as you use it, which it feels very weird at first, but you get used to it until, you hit the board itself. And another thing is, these triggers, when you press them down on the way, they go below the housing. They go below the casing. So, you tend to not really notice it after a while. But when you press it down all the way, you're hitting the housing, and that's when you really notice it. And it gets really annoying after a while. Trying to think on the top of my head here, anything else? Oh, by the way, these triggers, they have a bit of room where you can move them, and they won't even activate. They'll show nothing. I looked at these in the Dolphin controller setup. They have a bit of travel before they even show up as being pushed. It feels kind of weird, but you don't really notice it when you just push down all the way. I guess in like a racing game where you have to like go at slower speeds, it would be more annoying for that, but I don't really do that. What do I play? I play Mario Kart on Dolphin. Yeah, other than that, the arcade stick D-pad, I haven't played on an arcade stick in years, so I can't really compare it to that. But, it's kind of wobbly, but it feels good. I'm a fan of it over like a normal D-pad. It looks a lot like the Xbox Elite D-pad, but it's very different. Other than that, the keycaps are removable. So, if you're in Xbox 360 mode, you can just remove the keycaps. It's just like a keyboard, a mechanical keyboard. You can remove the keycaps. So there you have it. It's a fairly decent controller. Would I recommend you buy it? If you really want those mechanical switches, yeah, sure, go for it. If you really need those mechanical switches for a controller, I think these are rated at like 50 million keystrokes or something like that. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Any questions, leave a question down below in the comments. Goodbye.